Hello there, this is Fernand and welcome to my channel. Today is August 22, 2017 and I'm going to journal my collections of bromeliads, gosmenias, orchids, desert rose. This is a desert rose and I'm trying to learn how to make it as a bonsai. My potting mix on this is half palay skin and half sand, river sand. And these gosmenias, I believe there are 6 of them, and I dissected from this parent. The potting mix of these gosmenias is also 2 parts of palay peels and 1 part river sand, and I put coconut husk chunks on top of the potting mix. When I put them in their own pot, I had to make sure that their lowest leaf or leaves is not going to touch the potting mix, because that's a problem for gosmenias. Their leaves get rotten when they touch the potting mix. And this is also another gosmenia, and it's a parent, and I tried to invigorate it by putting coconut, I can't tell, the skin of coconut tree, and cut them into pieces like this, and then on top of it I put the coconut husk chunks, so it will have good drainage. This also is new regalia. This is also new regalia, another new regalia. This is gosmenia bromeliad, and it's a baby, or they call it pup, and I took it from this guy, the mother. It's a big bromeliad, and it's about to bloom. You can see the little yellow there coming out. And this is also an orchid, little orchids. This is also bromeliad, new regalia. And this one also is bromeliad that came from the yellow gosmenia. This guy I did not repot it yet. This one I did not repot, and this one I did not repot. This gosmenia, this is yellow, and the potting soil that I use is 2 part palay peel and 1 part river sand, and I put also coconut husk chunks on top of the potting mix. It's the same thing with this bromeliad. Over here is desert rose, and I'm trying to experiment with it, and I want it to be a bonsai, and I use 1 part of palay peel and 2 parts river sand. This one I just dissected it from its parent. It's a new regalia, and I'm using 2 parts of palay peel and 1 part river sand. Oh, this guy, I don't know what this ornamental flower is. We just bought it from a garden shop. Okay, so this is another bromeliad. I don't know what the name is. This is another bromeliad, and I repotted them. These two used to be in 1 pot, but they're too big, so I repotted them and I dissected them from each other. And I'm using also 2 parts of palay peel and 1 part of river sand. Then, as usual, I put the coconut husk chunks to absorb more water, and during the day the water will evaporate, and that will create a humidity for the bromeliad, because the bromeliad like good humidity. And this is my work area, and I have also these little cactuses, and I have not repotted them. I will repot them when I get some little pots. Okay, and this is my greenhouse, and once those plants that I showed you will be accustomed to our climate here in Pangasinan, I'm gonna transfer them here. And these are just a variety of different plants. And these are my bromeliads that I am experimenting on. These bromeliads are easy to grow. I just put regular ground soil and mix it half with, or two regular ground soil and 1 part palay peel, and I also put on top of the potting mix the coconut husk chunks. All of these have the same potting soil mixture, and it looks like they like the potting soil, so I'm gonna keep on using them, because as you can see, there is this pop, and I believe there's still 1 more coming out from there. And all of these bromeliads, they have the same potting mix: 1 regular, or half 1 regular ground soil and 1 palay peel. And this one is a gosmenia, and it has a lot of pops coming out, and there are 3 of them. And I just cut the flower, so it will still gonna live and will create more pops, hopefully. And the potting mix that I use with this is the coconut skin, and I cut them into pieces like paper. And these 2 bromeliads, I bought them from a lady, and I put them under direct sunlight right away, and look what happened. Their leaves got burned, and so I cut some of the burnt leaves, and so right now they're getting stabilized. I use also coconut skin like the brown skin, and then cut them into pieces like paper. This one, then put some coconut husk chunks. And this is also a small bromeliad. I don't know what it is, but I got it from an orchidarium. So the mix of this is also 1 part palay peel and 1 part river sand. And as usual, I always put coconut husk chunks to give them humidity when the water evaporates from the coconut husk chunks. And here are my orchids, and I bought them from a lady in front of the cathedral, and these were bundled without roots, and so I just put them in a pot. She said that they're gonna grow even though they don't have roots, and yes, for sure, roots are now coming out. There, they didn't have roots before. So this is another bromeliad, no, orchid, Vanda orchids. We are now in Vanda orchids, and I put coconut husk chunks and some charcoal. So it's a mix of coconut husk chunks and charcoal. 1 part of coconut husk chunks and 1 part charcoal. This Vandas, I only use coconut husk chunks. I haven't put charcoals in them because I want to experiment which one will give the best result. So this is how they look like on August 22, 2017. And these are also orchids. I don't know what they call them. And I just repotted them, and I put regular ground soil and some palay peel. And this one, it's a regular soil with some palay peel and sand and broken charcoals. And here are my desert roses. I am experimenting them to make them bonsai, because I don't like them if they're not bonsai. They look ugly. And I saw it from the YouTube, and those little bonsais, they look pretty, especially when they bloom. So my potting mix on this is 1 part sand and 1 part palay peel. Okay, here is my first bromeliad. I bought it like about a year ago, and it was a baby before, and the mother died. And good thing that it has 1 pup that replaced the mother. And this orchid is dying. I think I overwater it, so I'm not gonna water anymore and just let the rain water itself. Also, these are vandas. I attach them to a driftwood, and look at this kiki. It's coming out. These vandas, I bought it also from a lady. She cannot make them bear some flowers, so she sold it to me for 50 pesos, and I guess they like it here because they're creating a lot of new roots. Look at these new roots. Here are my other desert roses. This one has only a regular soil and some palay peel. This one, it has one part palay peel and one part river sand. The same thing with this one. This desert rose, I cut them to make it bonsai, and now they are sprouting. And here is another vandas. Looks like they're dying. Looks like they don't like it here. So I'm gonna remove them and put them in a pot. This thing is yellowish. I think it's gonna die. This one is going to die soon also. So I'm gonna put them in a pot to save them. Here's another bromeliad. I tried to experiment it and put it here in the driftwood, and it has nice color. Looks like it likes it here because this bromeliad is epiphyte, and it likes to, it doesn't have to be on the ground. It can live in a driftwood. Okay, so today is August 22, 2017, and this is my journal of my plants. Again, thank you for watching, and pardon my English. I'll see you soon.